everyone, this is Shulon Williams once again from Knowing You Are a Pearl. So I know we did the hashtag Team Purity Challenge, but it wouldn't be right if I haven't done my own purity challenge. So I will kind of just go over my history of what had called me to be at this point to live right and stay pure. So I'll just start with growing up. I grew up in the church, like most Christians. You grow up in the church. Parents are in the church, or at least for at that time, one of my parents was in the church, and my mom, tried her hardest to keep us involved in different curriculums in the church. What was great is that I was connected with a strong youth ministry where the youth pastor and everybody else that was helpers, they were great. So like Kelly Buckowitz, Tammy Lundeen, all of them. I can't think of everybody's name, but all of them, Pastor Randy, and they were there to help guide us. Right. So I remember going to different Choir to Fire events, rededicating my life. I wish I could have did I wanted to go out and do missions, but my mom declined it because she was like, you have asthma. I don't want to have to come down there and get you. So couldn't do that. So, but being involved with this stuff helped me stay pure for up to a certain point. And then when things that happened in the church and I was kind of, we grow up, and then when you separate from everybody, I felt like I was kind of alone. And so I ended up losing my virginity at 20 years old. So for most people, they say that's a long time, but for me, it should have been longer when I look back. So after doing that, I became this low-key wild child, right? Still going to church, but still a low-key wild child. It drove my mother crazy. She was constantly on her face, speaking in tongues, bombarding heaven for me, and I was just super, super wild child. I was like speeding. But like I said, still in church, but low-key wild child. It got to a point where I left the church and started living with somebody, call myself trying to become a Muslim, and some things was just not right, especially when you grow up in the church. And if you read your Bible, when people try to tell you things, if it's not right or not, you're like, not feeling that. But still in all, being in an abusive relationship, finally letting that go, but then ended up getting pregnant right away. So that was like my brick wall. A lot of people have their brick walls. What stopped them? And from there, I had the opportunity, as most women, do you keep the child or abort the child? So I ended up having get reconnected with Wheaton Christian Center. So I remember to this day, I needed Pastor Sharon to pray with me, and I thought she was going to pray with me in a corner, right? Because I had lost all love. I mean, especially coming out of an abusive relationship, and my whole world was crumbling. Like felt like I was in the center of hell. My life was hell. So I had asked God also, who was he? So he showed me a little bit of who he was in Ephesians chapter 1, and then once I prayed with Sharon, she had like the whole church praying for me. So that was a blessing, having people. So I had many people who mentored me, the Pastor Brandon, Pastor Denise. Then I had Lori and who else? It was the single moms ministry, Sister Williams. They were all there for me. But still in all, I was get back with the Lord, but there were still some underlying things God had to clean up with me. So I rededicated my life, came back to church, got involved, but it wasn't until I decided to make amends with my dad had been there since I was 2 and my biological father. Once I was able to release in the anger and hurt about males, I was able to get connected more with God, because what we see God as a male figure, right? So if you don't have a connection with a male on earth, it is hard for you to connect with God. So finally, I was able to do that and be released. And then So from there, now it's like, okay, God, I have desire to serve you. Help me clean out some things that are not of you that's inside of me so I can grow and move forward. So now that I've decided to do that, things that are not of him, I'm slowly just not having a desire for it. Let's say for like drinking, I try to drink wine because wine is pretty cool, right? It's just laid back, mellow. I know I can't drink hard liquor, so we try to do wine. Wine was just not it. I still feel, even though it's smooth, I still feel like I'm getting kind of pulled away from God. I'm like, okay, Lord, I can't be truly connected with you because I feel like this is like a little hindrance. It may not be for most people, but it was for me. So then, like the sex part in boyfriends and relationships, I just didn't have a desire for it. And don't get me wrong, sex is awesome. So for those that try to, I know people used to don't have sex. Yeah, tell them sex is awesome, but it's even better when you're married. So those that are married, I don't understand if there's any problems. You need to have fun. Side note. But for those of us that's single, I've seen so many benefits of not having sex because you don't have that baggage. I found myself of being in a relationship with somebody, having sex with them. You are fighting and working hard to be that wife, be that figure for them. And then some people end up getting married by having sex with them, but the same thing that you're doing at the beginning of wooing them and bowing down or whatever, you got to do that once you get married. So I'm starting to see a lot of marriages are not holding on because of the way we're getting into them. So I'm at a point where is I will be celibate whether God has somebody for me in the next couple of years or so, and then I'll be prepared for them, not bringing in any baggage, or if God has called me to be single for the rest of my life, I will enjoy my singleness and not just give it out to anybody or, buying toys to keep me satisfied or so. So those are my things that God has like just chipped away and moved. So here we are to today, what my motivation is and what my goal is. I feel that my heart is to help anybody else that has struggled and you want to find your relationship with God and to move forward and to do the things that God has called you to do. But there's these certain things that have hindered you and caused you to have a stumbling block. So I am all about this hashtag team purity because the more pure we are, the more things that we're allowing God to move out of our way, the more we can hear from him. So I encourage anybody to do this. I know normally on challenges you call out people, but I don't want to call out anybody who you're like, whoa, I'm not there yet. So but I want to call out any of you that have made that decision in your life and you're like, for God I live, for God I die. Ride or die. I'm hashtag team purity. So if that is you, whether you're married and you decided to live pure, whether you're single, if you know some teenagers, and share this with teenagers. There are a lot of teenagers that want to live their life right and want to be pure and don't want to smoke, drink, have sex or whatever. And a lot of their friends are, and they feel like it's not cool. I want to call out any of you that are living pure to rise up, stand up, and say, hey, I'm pure. I don't care what you say. And anybody want to join me, we can do this together. And that's why I want it. You know how they link up with one another and we're like, hey, we're together and divided we fall. That's where we need to be for this purity thing. People are rallying for safe sex. They're rallying for abortions, pro-life abortions. Guess what? If we were all living pure, we will not have to worry about any abortions clinic. So let's make the abortion clinics close down because we have decided to live pure. If the man has not given you a ring, if the guy has told you he is not ready for a relationship, I just came from the Winning Women conference, and they said, and I'm going to repeat it, listen to what the guy says. Do not encourage them. Guys, listen to the females. If she is okay with being a side chick, leave her alone. Ladies, if you are okay with being a side chick, check yourself. Okay? You are worth more than that. We are worth being courted. We are worth being married. Okay? So we don't have to talk down about a man. We don't have to put him down. What we can do is lift ourselves up and hold our standards up. So whether there's a woman coming at you or a man coming at you, hold your standards up. So I know I went a little deep there, but God bless you all. Please make your videos if you are pro teen purity, even if you just want to encourage somebody else to be pure. Make your video or share this video and encourage others. And once again, check us out on Facebook on Knowing You Are a Pearl. Be blessed, and talk to you guys later. Bye.